Ginny damn Thomas again. Damn. Now she's saying she will happily testify with the January 6th committee. All right. House Select Committee investigating the terrorist attack that took place on January 6th. They now plan to seek testimony from conservative activist and wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, Ginny Thomas. The panel's chair confirmed this. The latest, Thomas told the Daily Caller she would agree to an interview. She said, and I quote, "I can't wait to clear up misconceptions. I look forward to talking to them," she said. Now, remember, there's a strange dynamic here. She was part of a cult. Some experts have recently said she's now part of another cult called QAnon. She has been exposed as pushing conspiracy theories, telling the chief of staff of Donald Trump that he needs to keep this president in office because God mandates it. That's a cult-like conversation. Why does this matter? The decision comes after public and private wavering among committee members in recent weeks over the importance of Ms. Thomas's role in January 6th and former President Trump's effort to overturn the election. Now, here's where I have a beef with the committee, and I guarantee it's a bunch of Democrats saying things like, "Well, we don't want to do that. I mean, she is the wife of a Supreme Court justice." Damn that. She was engaged in trying to overturn an election. All of this holding institutions to be sacred is getting on my nerves. The voter should be the sacred dynamic. The Constitution gives you the authority, Congress, to do exactly what you're doing. Now you're scared because she happens to be the wife of a Supreme Court justice. This is why we need dynamic leadership. Why is this even a question? This woman had to literally do an interview and give you permission to interview her. Because without her saying she's willing to be interviewed, you all would not have done a damn thing. Knowing that your investigation has uncovered multiple emails and text messages showing her involvement in trying to overturn democracy as we know it. There's more. Thomas played an active role in pushing then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to take measures to overturn the 2020 election results, according to texts obtained by the Washington Post and by CBS News. The committee had reportedly been leaning against inviting Thomas to testify as recently as last month. I have a theory. I don't think the Washington Post nor CBS News received those text messages first. I do not. I think the committee had them for a long time, and somebody on that committee decided to leak them, okay? Now, there's more. Emails obtained by the panel reveal correspondence between Thomas and legal scholar John Eastman, a central figure in former President Trump's efforts to overturn the election. The Washington Post reported Wednesday. Other emails reported by the New York Times revealed that Eastman messaged a pro-Trump lawyer claiming to have insight into a heated fight between Supreme Court justices over whether to hear an election case. Here's what they're saying. We think it's time that we, at some point, invite her to come talk to the committee. That's what the chairman said. Thompson, the chairman, said the committee's reasoning, we have discovered in those Eastman emails some information that refers to Ginny Thomas. But he declined to tell you what the hell it was. What are we doing? What kind of game are we playing? Is this an investigation or is it political and performative and nothing else? Now I understand there are some elements of politics and performance at play here. That's why they're doing it right before the midterm elections. But you don't think we deserve to know how involved Ginny Thomas was and her husband being a Supreme Court justice who just happened to make rulings that were aligned to her radical ideology and even contrasted the ideology of other conservatives on the bench? You don't think we need to know this information? All right, Ben, thoughts here.
Well, you make excellent points here because not only should, of course, we get all of this information, but Justice Thomas needs to have recused himself from any case involving involving the 2020 election, which he refused to do. Maybe he thought the fact that he just doesn't speak ever in court was close enough to recusal, but he actually still gets the vote, so that's part of the issue. And you're 100% right also about enough of this horrible habit in our country where we keep our institutions sacrosanct, but our people get treated like garbage. If you noticed, we've had all these spate of horrible mass shootings, and we can't push forward with any urgency, any significant gun reform legislation just to keep us safe. But there's not even any attack or any murder of any Supreme Court justice, as of course there should not be. But there was one man who went there to Kavanaugh's house in hopes of attempting to do it, and instead just turned himself in. And within a month, just due to pressure from the Republicans, they push forward and pass legislation to add security to the justices' families. So not only are we protecting Ginni Thomas from being held accountable for everything that she has done to help encourage an overturning of our election, we also are adding security around the clock to her and to other families. And again, it just shows our priorities. Not that we shouldn't protect them, we should, but a higher priority should be first dealing with the people who are being murdered randomly and protecting them who are actually being the victims of murder. There have been no victims of violence of the families of Supreme Court justices or the justices themselves, and they already have around the clock security. And so how about we just keep it in some sort of priority order? But why do we do it? Why do we do it this way? Because exactly our priorities are 100% out of whack. It's exactly shown again in the fact that the Democrats in the House wanted to hold up the bill. They wanted to hold up the bill just because they wanted to add protection for the staff and the law clerks, the Supreme Court justices, and everybody said, well, no one knows who they are, so they're not at any risk. Well, also no one knows who the families of justices are, but they're at the top echelons of power, so we gotta protect them more. It just shows and betrays our biases every damn day, and it's just painful at this point.